Monday evening. Glad to have you guys with us. And if you are new, you are welcome to join us on not only on Clubhouse, but you're also welcome to add and join our Facebook fan page and our YouTube channel, as well as our podcast, 通勤学语. Feel free to peruse these channels. And 15 Minutes Live Podcast, I would say, is the closest or the most interactive show that we have on 通勤学语。所以这个通勤学语呢，跟大家报告一下，就是我们除了 podcast， 还有我们的 YouTube， 还有我们的 Facebook 以外呢，15 Minutes Live Podcast 就是这个直播室呢，会是我们通勤学语的主持群跟大家互动最密切的、最直接的最互动的。所以if you want to practice your English speaking or English listening, feel free to practice English listening with our podcasts and all our shows, and as well as Monday evenings, we encourage you to come and join us and speak English with us. All right. And just to tell everybody about our show, let's move on and introduce the moderators or the hosts for tonight. So besides John, myself, on my right, we have Petty.
Yay.
Yeah, Petty. And on Petty's right is...
Angel. Nice to see you
Angel.
guys.
Yes. And great to see you guys again on a Monday evening for 15 Minutes Live Podcast. And tonight, let's just say hi to everybody. We see you. And please make sure that you join us. You are welcome to chat with us on the room chat feature if you swipe right. Or when we get to the practice sessions, you're welcome to raise your hand, and we welcome you guys to come and chat with us. All right, so talking about our topic for tonight, let's start with Angel, because I think I actually had this in mind for you, to be honest.
The first one?
The first one. You know why?
I don't know why.
Because most people would assume that girls don't know games.
Oh.
Girls don't play games. That's the stereotype, right?
Yeah, that's the stereotype.
女生呢就是不懂得打 game， 然后女生呢讲这些就是像讲这些游戏的部分就是天方夜谭。But this particular game is so relevant right now to me and to many of the other hardcore gamers, softcore gamers alike. This game is a big hit right now. Yeah. So in the world, we have major hot topics like the Ukraine-Russian crisis, right?
Yeah.
Ukraine-Russia crisis, and then so on and so forth. We've got all sorts of current events. And then in the gaming sector, 就在游戏世界这一块呢，游戏产业里面呢， Elden Ring is the hot topic of today. So today, if you Google Elden Ring, you will see not only YouTube, not only Reddit, not only Twitter, not only TikTok, you will see a lot of content on all platforms about this game. All right.
A big hit now.
It's a big hit. It's a big, crazy big hit. This game, just to give you some backstory, this game was in production for 6 years.
6 years.
6 years.
Oh, wow.
6 years. All right. So it's a big game. A lot of money, a lot of manpower went into it. And a lot of thought went into it. And the story is produced by George R.R. Martin, who is also the author of Game of Thrones. 所以《冰与火之歌》的这个作者呢，就是这一次 Elden Ring 艾尔登法环这个游戏的监制。
哇，好天才！天哪，这感觉非常的复杂，这个故事 background.
Well, technically, the paragraph, if you have a quick glance, you will see it's not really about the story, because the story is really, really hard to understand, even for myself. But again, when we play games, sometimes the story is just the icing on the cake. It's not the cake, right? It's the game that is the game content. You know, how many bosses you have to fight, how many little enemies on the side, and the puzzles you solve. 所以呢，玩游戏呢，可能故事有时候在某种程度上就是会 take a step back, right? 它的 gameplay 啦，或者是它其他的这些华丽的动作，这些可能就是它主要的主轴。But here, this article I picked out from Wikipedia again and it's a little bit about all the keywords related to games. So tonight we're going to be covering some of the keywords that are heavily related to games, and strongly related to games. 我们等一下呢，可能很多关键字大家不是很熟悉，然后呢 ，Angel 就是带我们念一遍。其实，有几件事情呢，有几个 insight 会跟大家会慢慢再解释。等一下我们一起念完了以后呢，我跟 Angel 念完了，就会邀请我们的通勤家族来一起上台，来跟我们跟读一下，跟读挑战自己。那等一下呢，我们就会慢慢 cover 今天2个主要的段落，一个是 Elden Ring， 然后另外一个就是我们的名人，然后这个呢，可能就是请 Patty 跟我练习了。对，那 Patty 这个第二个这一位人士，这个就不陌生了吧，对不对？
他不陌生啊，可是内容好难念。
Patty 已经先看那个小抄了，然后就是对，为什么难念 ？Patty 你觉得难在哪里？
就很多那个不那个叫名字啊，然后地点啊，还是什么？就是
对，
不知道那个到底是什么字啊？
没错，那个没看过的英文字，因为那个是俄罗斯语嘛，那个乌克兰语嘛。
对，完全怎么发音都不知道。
对，
想要念错都没有办法，因为都不会念。
不是想要念对是比较难，
比较难一点。
想要念对比较难，不是念错是一定的，因为我们不会乌克兰语。所以呢 ，Patty 这个等一下呢，我们也会这个为什么要请 Patty 跟我念呢？跟我一起念，就是这个也有一些 insight 哈，因为今天你看我们就有2个主题，然后呢，在这个稍早之前呢 ，Patty 就有私下跟我讲说，今天为什么这么难？今天为什么这么难？是故意要挑战，因为我们讲跟读挑战，然后大家就这样随便就念过，然后很简单，就不是挑战了。
要挑战。
那当然，我们也不是说，挑战了就是我们都做不到叫挑战啊。可是呢，到这边呢，我们就回归说，我们今天呢可能会比较回归所谓的跟读的本质啦。对，而且我们会发现，为什么去挑这个呢？很多专有名词的时候，我在跟读的时候应该怎么办？那今天呢，等一下姜老师就会跟大家分享一下，怎么样去处理这一块。对，不是说我们今天看到那个文章单字难啊，或者他写 C2 啊 C 这个B1 啊 B2 A1 A2 这种的，你看到自己的等级程度，你就会想说这个 easy 我来读，然后呢 C1 C2 的那种就有点难了，我不要了，不读了。就会我们会有这种心态嘛，本来读这种文章就会有这种心态，就好像我们打这个游戏，如果有人跟我说那个 Elden Ring 是那种是什么？比如说等级8的那种游戏，就是说你至少要玩这个300小时、500小时的游戏等等的，那我就会觉得说，玩不到那么久，算了，我不玩了 ，I'll never enjoy it。所以我就先拒绝他了 ，OK， 我就先拒他于千里之外。可是呢，谁知道就是有人 speed run 37分钟就破台了，对不对？上个礼拜据说是37分钟就破台。就是衣服都没有什么穿，然后就一直跑，然后打 boss， 然后 boss 就死掉了，这样，然后就看到破关画面，这样37分钟。对 ，so you never know, it's okay, right? So we've got the 2 topics today. Elden Ring, which is a big topic now in gaming, and then of course Vladimir Zelensky, Mr. Zelensky, the President Zelensky of Ukraine. Yeah. 就这2个呢，其实在不管在现在的时事跟现在的社会上面，其实都是跟我们息息相关的齁。所以呢，我们就不用管说到底有没有把它看懂。可是今天呢，如果有吸收到一点东西呢，明天都可以跟朋友臭屁了啦，对不对？
没错，
至少搭得上线，人家讲什么我们听得懂。最起码是这样子。So let's start with Angel tonight, and we are talking about Elden Ring, which is a game on PC and PS4 and Xbox. 所以它是一个多平台的 multi-platform, cross-platform game that you can play. It's got online multiplayer features, and it's a single player as well. 所以自己玩跟朋友玩都可以玩。对，所以它大概是这样子的 idea. Yes, 所以它叫 Elden Ring.艾尔登法环，yes。所以大家可能，我今天选的这个，大家看到置顶的这个连结有没有？这个图片就是艾尔登法环里面其中的一个那个风景照。
风景照，
对，那个就是风景照，对。所以你就是一个 hero， 然后你在这个世界里面，然后你就要骑着马到处去这个做 hero 就对了，对。然后里面有很多故事，然后你可以去玩。But coming back to Shadowing Challenge， 我们今天根本就是 还是回到说我们要跟读一个段落。今天我对这个 topic 有兴趣，比如说我从 Wikipedia 截取出来了，然后呢，我找到这2个段落。那今天呢，John 老师这边呢有特别去修一点，我有把一些我觉得大家不常用的字啊等等的，或者是不是很有跟游戏有关联的字，因为太多 Wikipedia 上面是特别去注明一些说它的 background story 等等的，可是我就把那些都稍微修掉了。所以这个呢，现在大家看到的这个段落里面的字呢，多数是属于跟这个除了游戏内容有关以外，还有跟游戏有关。我们今天不管玩任何游戏，它都会是这样稍微去解释的。所以等一下呢，也会跟 cover。那这个部分呢，其实 Paddy 也打电动。那Angel 呢，就玩比较 mobile game 嘛，对不对？我看 Angel 是玩 mobile game 的，对，所以就不是玩这种 console game。不是玩那种主机游戏的，那主机游戏就要坐在电视上坐在电视前面坐很久。那 mobile game you can carry it with you, you can play it while you go to work, you can play it while you're on the taxi, you can play it when you're traveling outside of the city. You know, you can enjoy the games, but Elden Ring you can't. You have to play it on the console. So this, I believe, this article is very fitting for Angel because now you have something to talk to.
Yeah.
You have now something to talk about with Guo Peng. You can tell him, like, I know what you're doing.
I know Elden Ring. I know what it's all about.
Yes, I know what you're up to. Right. Okay. So for shadowing, the purpose of shadowing is you got to read it or you have to listen to it 2 to 3 times. Okay. And that's what we do in the podcast. So you take your podcast and you listen, right? That's general shadowing. But today we're going to simplify that and we're just going to do a quick one because we've got 2 articles today. So I'm going to read it one time. Okay, I'm going to read the first paragraph one time. And then Angel will read it one time. And then I'll read the sentences again and, you know, individually. And then Angel will read the sentences individually again. Okay, we'll do that. For the next paragraph as well. So that's how we will proceed further. And then thereafter, we will share the quiz, the little quiz, text quiz in the room chat. So stay tuned, you guys. Make sure you follow what's going on in the room chat. Okay, so let's get this started. I'm going to read it first, all right? So I'm going to read it nice and slow for you, Angel, and then you will read the first paragraph on your own. And then I will read the sentences each individually, and then you are going to repeat after me.
All right.
Per sentence. All right, let's do this. Let's start. Elden Ring is an action role-playing game played in a third-person perspective with gameplay focusing on combat and exploration. Director Hidetaka Miyazaki explained that players start with a linear opening but eventually progress to freely explore the lands between, including its 6 main areas, 6 main areas as well as castles, fortresses, and catacombs scattered throughout the open world map. Okay, so it's 6 main areas as well as castles, fortresses, and catacombs scattered throughout the open world map. Right. So that's the first paragraph. And in shadowing activities, guys, after you listen to what I've actually read, you'll be like, oh, I didn't catch half of that. It's okay. It's a shadowing activity. You're not supposed to understand every word. We're not trying to explain each and every word. We'll get to that point a bit later on. So focus on the listening and pronouncing each word properly. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead, Angel.
Elden Ring is an action role-playing game played in the third-person perspective with gameplay focusing on combat and exploration. Director Hidetaka Miyazaki explained that players start with the linear opening, but eventually progress to freely explore the lands between, including its 6 main areas, as well as castles, fortresses, and catacombs scattered throughout the open world map.
Very nice. Very well read. Yes. Fantastic stuff. Which words were kind of difficult for you there, Angel?
Catacombs. Catacombs, yes.
Oh, catacombs. Okay. So, well, we don't know what catacombs mean. We will get to that. But catacombs sounds like a word with different sounds that we're not used to, right? Catacombs.
Yes, catacombs.
Fortresses. Yes. So these are the words we will come back to. But that was very well read. Now, to continue the shadowing process, I'm going to read now each sentence individually and give Angel a turn to read it as well, individually, the sentences, okay? So I'm going to read the first sentence. Elden Ring is an action role-playing game played in a third-person perspective with gameplay focusing on combat and exploration.
Elden Ring is an action role-playing game played in the third-person perspective with gameplay focusing on combat and exploration.
Very nice. Director Hidetaka Miyazaki explained that players start with a linear opening, but eventually progress to freely explore the lands between, including its 6 main areas, as well as castles, fortresses, and catacombs scattered throughout the open world map.
Director Hidetaka Miyazaki explained that players start with a linear opening, but eventually progress to freely explore the lands between, including its 6 main areas, as well as castles, fortresses, and catacombs scattered throughout the open world map.
Very nice. Yes. So, Angel, which is catacomb still a difficult word after the 2 times that you've read it?
Much better.
Much better.
Much better.
就第一次听到 catacombs 就是卡卡卡
Cat,
卡
cat, cat.
然后第一次听到卡卡的，然后第二次就会觉得
Catacombs.
oh okay, catacombs.
Catacombs.
Now you'll be more focused on catacombs. Yes.
Yeah.
So another thing I want to ask you is, Angel, the first time before you actually read it, do you think you read it out loud, like you imagined it in your head? Like if you didn't read it out loud, would you read it the same way?
No.
所以我们在阅读的时候，我刚刚问 Angel 的意思，就跟大家分享一下，就是主要是如果今天呢 Angel 自己阅读没有东西听的时候，Angel 他觉得说他念出来的还会跟他想象中的一样吗？可能不会，对不对？因为心里面想的就不会觉得 catacombs 会卡卡嘛。
对，
就念过去就是 I know
好像
这个 OK 的，每一个字都 OK 100分。就考试的时候就是就通常都会这样。就是我们自己在对阅读能力有自信到一种程度的时候呢，就很容易相较于这个口说对不对？因为我们阅读是一种 input 能力嘛，然后 writing 才是一种 output 嘛。那相较于我们的听力跟口说呢，就是听力是一种 input， 然后呢，我们这个口说是一种 output。那你的 input 听起来哇很顺很 OK， 我心里面也觉得我都可以念，我都会念。可是呢，口说念出来的时候呢，你舌头就不受你控制了。It happens。那这个就是我们平常疏于练习，就疏于去讲，然后这些字不熟悉，所以呢，这个熟悉不是我们脑筋里面在熟悉就是我们常阅读熟悉，而是我们嘴巴也要熟悉它。对，所以呢，从这个 Angel 呢就很容易。今天练一练了，明天开始就是开始丢 keyword， 有没有？跟郭胖聊这个的时候就丢 keyword catacombs。Catacombs is yeah. So which catacombs have you been to？ 就是一定要 drill 他这样子，一定要逼问严刑拷问他。Okay. So that was the first paragraph, and we did that. 所以像刚刚呢，就是一个很简单的一个跟读的一个 drill exercise， 跟读的一个方式大家可以用这种方式来做练习。那拿我们的 podcast 也可以，你可以一句一句把我播出来，然后再慢慢倒回去听，然后或者是你整段听这样子。那其实这种练习呢，都会帮助你的口说，还有你的听力。All right, so Angel, shall we move on? We've had another paragraph to go, so I'm going to read the next paragraph.
Okay.
Combat in Elden Ring relies heavily on character-building elements found in previous Souls games and related intellectual properties, such as calculated and close-range melee-based combat, with the use of skills, magic abilities, as well as blocking and dodging mechanics. Elden Ring introduces mounted combat and a stealth system, the latter being a core gameplay element from Sekiro. These features are expected to encourage players in strategizing their combat approach with each unique enemy they encounter.
Okay. Combat in Elden Ring relies heavily on character building elements found in previous Souls games and related intellectual properties, such as calculated and close-ranged, melee-based combat with the use of skills, magic abilities, as well as blocking and dodging mechanics. Elden Ring introduced mounted combat and a stealth system, the latter being a core gameplay element from Sekiro. These features are expected to encourage players in strategizing their combat approach with each unique enemy they encounter.
That was very well read.
Thank you.
But what system? Elden Ring introduces mounted combat and a what system?
Angel? A stealth?
Stealth.
Stealth. Okay, a stealth.
A stealth system.
A
就
stealth.
这个字也很少见，对不对？然后就 health 我们都没问题，对不对？
Yeah.
突然前面加一个 st
The?
elf right health 和 elf health st health stealth
A stealth. A stealth. A stealth.
yeah stealth system. So we'll talk about these words because it's your first time recognizing some of these keywords, but for us the boys we're very used to these words. 所以很多这些字呢都是跟游戏的机制游戏里面的机制有关的关键字。
没有用过这个字。
对，因为我们玩游戏嘛，干嘛还要去懂它背后的机制呢？管它的，对不对？所以呢，这个当然，当你这个像我跟 Paddy 啦，就是打电动打了这个20-30年这样子，你知道你那个机制很多不同的游戏你都玩过，你那个不同机制你都懂，所以他们在讲一些游戏机制你就知道那就像那个游戏，就像哪一个游戏这样子，你就比较能够去理解说。这些制作人的用心在哪里？他为什么要这样？等等的，好，所以呢，现在游戏的产业真的就是蓬勃发展，因为它里面还有可以有故事啦，可以有这个影像啦，可以有这个 VR 啦，它还有很多声音、音效等等的可以去辅助，然后把这个游戏弄成像一个这个异世界一样，然后像看电影般的这种 gameplay 所以 Elden Ring 就是像一个这样子的游戏，它丰富度很多。所以挑它来做这个学习一些游戏产业相关的游戏机制相关的字呢，其实非常非常好。Okay, so Angel, let's get back to reading the sentences individually. 它这个 sentence 真的也太长了哈，谁写的这个 Wikipedia 呢？这个
超长。
就 grammatically speaking, there's no problem with a very long sentence, but for ease of reading. I think Angel would agree with me that it's not easy to read.
Yeah.
他要整体的阅读，就是你如果看这几个段落，通常if you write something that you want to actually share with other people, we would highly recommend that you write shorter sentences than what you see today. Okay, 所以请大家在写这个句子的时候，尽量简单扼要，然后 easy to read， 因为你的这个看你的信啊 email 啦，或者是看你的文章的人，其实通常都没有太多时间。那这个 Wikipedia 呢，它可能就是比较接近学术了，所以 sentence 都这么长。这个第一句就3行啊，哇，
超长，
超级长。可是呢，有没有可能有 grammatical error？ 可能有。然后呢，可是呢，在它这样子解释的方式里面呢，其实真的很难去挑剔它了。对，这么多的丰富的一句话一个句子。All right, so let's read the sentences individually. Combat in Elden Ring relies heavily on character building elements found in previous Souls games and related intellectual properties, such as calculated and close-ranged melee-based combat with the use of skills, magic abilities, as well as blocking and dodging mechanics.
Combat in Elden Ring relies heavily on character building elements found in previous Souls games and related intellectual properties, such as calculated and close-ranged melee-based combat with the use of skills, magic abilities, as well as blocking and dodging mechanics.
Elden Ring introduces mounted combat and a stealth system, the latter being a core gameplay element from Sekiro. These features are expected to encourage players in strategizing their combat approach with each unique enemy they encounter.
Elden Ring introduced mounted combat and a stealth system, the latter being a core gameplay element from Sekiro. These features are expected to encourage players in strategizing their combat approach with each unique enemy they encounter.
Very nice. Yes.
Yes, I learned some words still.
So there were a few words that you feel like, oh, we have kind of mastered it, right? 我们
Yeah.
开始掌握度比较高。
Yeah.
那刚刚 Angel 有讲了一个字，有听到一个字，这个字呢，我特别没有先解释，因为第二行这边呢有讲 close ranged melee based combat， 对不对？这个字是不是 Angel 第一次看？
第一次看，我只听过 free range， 没有看过 close range。
Close free range chicken，
Yeah.
放山鸡free range chicken。这个 melee based combat， 你看它其实如果我们念的话，应该是 melee， 对不对？可是我念 melee，melee 对，然后你就会发现说，就跟不是 Chanel 是 Chanel， 对，那个概念是一样，你就知道这个字可能十之八九不是英文，
不是英文。
对，那这个呢，其实要怎么讲？就是我小时候大概在15岁左右，就是这个看到这个，我们会有买那种游戏杂志嘛，或电玩杂志等等的，它里面讲的这个 melee based combat， 就我跟我弟都不会念这个字，因为我们就念 melee based yeah combat。然后直到有一天有人讲说 melee， 然后我就is that how you pronounce it? OK。就是我们小时候的那一段时期全部都 pronounce 错掉，因为平常在这个英文作文啦，或者是在学校里面，其实真的没有人讨论这些东西。这个都太艰深了啦，对小朋友来说，对10几岁的小朋友，对 teenager 来说，就是打电动嘛，我干嘛要懂这个机制呢？不需要所以它里面有很多的那种分析啊，游戏分析什么的，其实都看不太懂。It's okay， 对。
It's okay。
所以这个字呢 ，Angel 第一次念的时候呢，就不是很有掌握。然后第二次呢，Angel 就用听的，对不对？我讲 melee， 然后你就记得是melee，
没错，
对，然后就这样。所以呢，这个就是我们在 shadowing 其中做的很重要的一块大家就是说，其实这个字，如果我们今天很在意说，我要知道这个字是什么意思，那我们可能就查字典，然后查个半个小时，然后这篇都不用读了。对不对？就15分钟办不到练习，真的我们去吸收这个英文字，或去了解这个英文字在这个文章里面的定位是什么，用意是什么，对不对？可是呢，就像刚刚这样子，这就是我们的 typical shadowing 的 effect， 就是它的效果就是这样，就是其实你不用太在意说你知不知道它的意思，那是后来的事情。前面呢都是以听力跟口说为主，所以你可以先听几遍，然后不管是单句单句的听，或整个段落整个段落的听，或者是整篇整篇的听，你都先听几遍之后呢，再回来一段一段，或者是一句一句，或者是一篇一篇的自己去朗读出来，然后再来是跟读，就是你一边播放一边念，然后看你的 tempo， 看你的那个 intonation， 看你的痛调有没有符合你想要模仿的这个录音带里面的声音。OK。所以呢，刚刚这个就是很 typical 的 shadowing 的效果啦，所以呢，再来我们就要来解释了，稍微简单解释一下，因为我们现在看了这个文章，然后我们也练习这个文章，有了一定的掌握度的时候 ，Angel 这时候就说 ，OK, let's learn some words, right? I've got extra time now. I've got an hour. So what do we do next? We should look at some of the words that are quite interesting, and I'm going to highlight some. So the first line of the first paragraph there, what would be a keyword there for you, Angel? What are the terms that you are not very familiar with? 比较不熟的有哪一些？ The first sentence. Let's go to the first sentence.
The first sentence. First sentence.
Action role-playing game. Do you know what that is?
I know.
Okay. So no problem there. Action
No problem with
role-playing,
it. Yes,
right? So
I'm okay.
Action plus role-playing.
Action plus role-playing.
Action
Yes.
role-playing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So action role-playing, right? So here, played in a third-person perspective. 这个 third person perspective 这常看到其实不止游戏嘛，对不对？When we talk about something, when we discuss a current event, we are talking about it from a third person's perspective.
Oh yes，
所以 third person perspective 就是我们第三者的角度。对，所以不是 third person angle。
angle
我们今天没有要计算，我们今天没有要算数学，所以是 third person perspective。它是观点perspective 是观点，所以第三者的观点来看这个游戏，也就是说这个游戏是第三者观点，就是你不是从这个你的角色的眼睛看出去的，你是看着你的角色在前面跑，这叫 third person perspective。Okay, so Mario, right? Super Mario,
yeah.
我们也是看着 Mario 在跑，我们不是从 Mario 眼睛看出去嘛，对不对？所以这个就是 third person perspective。那如果我们今天是从第一人称来从眼睛里面看出去，那个英文会怎么讲
？First person, single first person, right?
First person perspective. First person perspective, yes. 就是 first person 第一人称的这个角度去看。所以 third person or first person, right? 所以这个呢就是我们常见到的，讲到游戏就会有 first person games and third person games. With gameplay focusing on, 你看到这边 gameplay focusing on, 他们专注于什么东西？ There are two things, A and B. So which are the two types of gameplay the game is focused on?
Combat.
And what is
exploration?
Combat and exploration. 对战嘛，对不对？ Combat, fighting, combat and exploration.
Exploration 探索
Exploration 就探索嘛 ，explore 那就是 Dora 。对，大人的 Dora。OK， 对，就是 exploration, combat and exploration。所以这个有没有 Angel？ 你看我们现在这个时候拿中文的这个解说来稍微对一下，就知道说，原来这些 keyword 是大概这个意思。所以今天呢，就算我们刚刚念的不是特别好，然后呢，我们念了几次，稍微有掌握度了，然后之后我们就一段一段的去拆开来看的时候，去对应的看的时候呢，中文的文稿就会辅助我们去慢慢理解这些特殊专有字。那其实都不是你不熟的字，只是你很少看到它在这样子的一个情境下使用。对。那再来呢 ，Let's talk about the second sentence. Director Miyazaki.Okay, or okay. 就是我们遇到 director 这个了 What would you do, Angel, if you meet a person's name that you can't pronounce? What do you do? What should we do?
We should try to pronounce it.
You should try to pronounce it.
Is it?
所以我们就试着去念看看。
Yeah.
去念看看。
试着去念看看。
当然这是一个方式嘛，可是这个日本人的名字我们又不熟，到底有没有发音对，其实我也不知道啊。是不是？
是。
所以通常呢，我会这样建议大家啦，就是说，像 Angel 的方式，就是如果我今天稍微懂，稍微对一些日式游戏，比如说我对一些日系游戏，或者是我们对一些日文名字有一些掌握度的人，或者已经有一个什么 N3 level 的，对不对？他可能就会念 Hidetaka Miyazaki，你就这样慢慢的去把它念出来，这是一种方式。可是如果你是零掌握度，就是 I don't know what the heck that is， 那我们就 Director explained that， 因为它前面有个 title 嘛，它前面有一个 President、Director、Chairman、Mr， 那我就前面就是 Mr. explain that 这样子，这样其实就好了。如果我们今天真的名字都不行，就跳过，因为我不懂啊，我不需要懂啊。我今天要了解的是文章，我不要了解这个人的名字怎么念啊。有时候真的不行啊，但是我们有空的时候再回来啊，所以我们就可以跳过。You can skip it. You can skip it. Right. So director explained that. 他解释了什么东西。Now players start with a linear opening. Do you know what a linear opening is, Angel?
I know the word linear, but I don't know what is a linear opening.
A linear opening, right?
Yeah.
So let me give you a hint. 这个时候呢，其实就是因为Angel 真的对游戏不是很熟悉。那游戏开场的时候，我们叫什么
？Opening?
Yes. 所以它的开场是怎么样的一种开场
linear opening 没有
linear opening，linear 就是一个
内
线性的嘛，就直线的。
对对对，是
对，也就是说，
线性的
你那个
开场
你开场的时候呢，就没有选择，你只能往前走，或者是往这边去，就往哪里去。它一开场不是让你到处跑，对，所以大家可以看到线型开场，其实这就很专有名词，对不对？可是呢，其实对真正有打 game 的玩家，这一看就知道是什么东西了。因为有些游戏它一开始对不对，就是很 open， 然后你就到处跑，你就不知道你要干嘛。可是 linear opening 会让 players 有机会，就是直的我要知道要跟就是跟这个人讲话，讲完了以后我要去给他什么东西，然后他就会一路带着我去了解这个世界，然后最后才放开让我玩这个游戏。他前面都有点手把手的教你这样子。所以他有 the players start with a linear opening，OK，所以一开始的时候是一个线性开场。好，然后呢 ，but eventually 到最后是不是 progress to freely explore the lands between？ So you can freely explore， 又回到我们刚刚讲的 exploration， 对不对？你看到这个 paragraph 里面有2次这个字了。也就是说 exploration 跟 explore 是一个最关键字嘛，就在一个段落里面我们就会这样子。如果有看到重复的字呢，各位就是把它笔记起来，这个字一定很重要。反正其他的字你就可以不用学，没有 repeat 过的字其实都可以可学可不学，可吸收不吸收没关系。可是呢，你只要看过有重复的字，麻烦你那个字一定要搞懂，对，那个字会帮你让你了解这个段落。Okay, freely explore the lands between. 那 the lands between, Angel, do you see the capitals for lands and between?
Yes.
L and the B.
L and B.
So when we see a word with capitals like that, what does that mean to us?
That means that they are some certain name in the game.
They are names. 所以它就是一个名词。It's a name of a place. It's the name of the world. 所以这个呢，我要不要去记？其实也可以不用记，就 it doesn't matter。其实这个没有关系的，反正这个2个 capital letter 就是跟名字一样。因为我们没有打游戏，所以我不知道，对不对？所以就是 A B C X Y Z 都 OK，right？ But here comes the extra information. The extra information says, including its 6 main areas, no problem, right? 6个区域嘛，对不对？As well as castles, fortresses, and catacombs scattered throughout the open world map. 所以它有好几样东西在这个 map 上面嘛。So the first thing are castles, no problem. Fortresses, what is a fortress? 那如果我们不知道这个 fortress 这个字呢，其实就可以看一下中文的那个对应，对不对？它有 castle 就是城堡，然后第二个 fortress 是什么？
堡垒。
Yeah. So what's it? The red fortress in Danshui, I guess. What's that? That's also a fortress, right?
红毛城。
Yeah, that's a fortress. It's not exactly a castle, I believe.
Yeah, that's a fortress. Yes.
Yeah, I would consider it a fortress. All right. And then, of course, the third item on the list is catacombs. 就是第3个就是 catacombs. 所以这边呢，我们也可以对应看看catacombs 呢就跟 tombs 很像，对不对？可是 catacombs 是一个很老旧的东西，就是地下墓穴以前都叫 catacombs。那可是我们现在就叫 tomb， 就是墓穴或墓碑 tomb。tombs， 所以 catacombs 这样子 scattered throughout the open world map， 所以它的地图是怎么样呢？ Open world map， 就开放式世界的地图嘛 ，Open world map， 对，大概是这样。所以 Angel 是不是第一个 paragraph 里面，哇，突然那个你知道游戏专有名词通通都来了？
我觉得我已经懂这个游戏了，
对，已经好像你懂了。Wikipedia 就有这种魔法，就有这种 magic。It's the magic of Wikipedia.Honestly, you guys, if you get to challenge yourself, read a few wiki articles, they help you understand stuff like from really a bird's eye view， 就是很那种很高端的那种视野去看一件事情，所以你会很完整的看它。在 Wikipedia 的 article 就是有这么厉害。好，那 let's move on to the second paragraph. So again, first paragraph, we said combat and exploration, right? So the first word in the second paragraph, combat in Elden Ring. So you see, combat is an important word. 如果大家不知道 combat 是什么字的时候呢，在这个时候我们看到前一个段落有 combat， 后一个段落有 combat. Combat is important. All right. So in Elden Ring relies heavily on character building elements found in previous Souls games and related intellectual properties. 所以这边 heavily on something, character building elements. Character building elements. So what are elements?
元素
元素 the factors or the elements, right? 所以它有这个部分。那 character building 是什么？
character 就是要创造一个角色嘛。
对，角色扮演嘛。因为我们前面有讲 role play， 所以 character building, role playing, they're very similar, okay? And found in previous Souls games. 所以呢，之前呢有一些这个 Souls 的游戏。那 Souls 的游戏呢，就是我们游戏玩家知道的叫黑魂。我自己是没有玩。Okay, 所以它叫 previous Souls games and related intellectual properties， 还有相关的这个智慧财产内容。那 intellectual property 这个字呢，其实大家都知道这个字，只是每次大家都不知道它的 full word，like they don't know the term in full。大家都知道 IP 对不对？
Oh yeah，
IP 就是 intellectual property。智慧财产权或智慧内容 ，OK， so intellectual property 就是 IP， 所以现在这个年头呢，大家都很会讲一些缩写，可是其实当他朗读出来这种文章的时候，他不知道这个东西是 IP。对 ，so you guys, you really when you read articles, you have to also check some of these keywords that are super important, like IP and all the fancy terms people use today, because they're using it in a very lazy way, but it's always best to Google it up and make sure you know the full term. 就是完整的字、完整的词哦，还是要稍微练一下，要不然你看到的时候不知道是 IP, right? So and then they give an example, such as， 对不对？就是举例了 ，such as what and what based combat， 它有两种哦 ，calculated and close-ranged melee-based combat， 它有两种的打击方式，对不对？攻击方式，一种是 calculated， 有计算的 ，calculated 有计算过的 ，and close-ranged melee-based combat。那我们讲 close range，free range 是我们讲放山嘛，那 close range 算什么？
近距离嘛。
近距离 ，close-ranged combat。那 close range 呢 ，combat 或者是 melee based combat 其实是一样的东西啦。那 melee 呢，就是肉搏的意思。我们讲肉搏战就是 melee combat 或者是 melee。
melee。
对，就是肉搏啦。所以这个一看到就知道他们是互相 K 来 K 去的那一种。看到这个 melee 就互相 K 的这些。不是丢弓箭、丢武器或拿枪打的，它是就出拳的。
哦，
对，melee 就是出拳的或拿刀互砍的这种近战的。好 ，with the use of skills， 在这边又举例哦 ，with the use 搭配上什么东西 ？use of A skills, B magic abilities, C as well as blocking and dodging mechanics。所以它有几个机制哦，有几个 mechanic。A skills 就是我们讲技能，对不对？所以我们人有很多 skills. Next, magic abilities. Oh, everybody loves a little bit of magic, right? 所以 Harry Potter 也有 magic ability， 对不对？那些游戏还有丢魔法 magic abilities, as well as blocking and dodging mechanics. 所以 what is blocking? Blocking 就是挡，然后 dodge 就是我们的 dodge ball 躲避球 dodge ball， 所以 dodging 就是躲。对，所以呢，它前面就有解释 calculated and close-ranged combat， 所以它一种是计算型的，一种是就是近战型的肉搏。然后呢，你还要什么？你还要挡，那你还要躲，就是很忙。就这个人，你玩这个人就很忙。
这个句子也很忙。
这个句子非常忙，所以你看一个句子，他把这个你怎么玩这个角色全部讲完了，结束。That's it. That's how you play the game. That's how your character works. You have to fight calculated and close-range melee combat. And you have to use your skills, magic abilities, and you have to block, and you have to dodge. 就是很忙。Yes. 然后再来呢，最后一行 Elden Ring introduces mounted combat. 这个 mounted combat 又讲到 combat， 你看 combat 又再来了 ，and a stealth system。所以 mounted combat 这个 mount 是什么意思？我们来比对一下。What kind of combat？ 什么样的战斗？所以呢，大家看到这个中文叫坐骑战斗。
坐骑，
对，其实坐怎么念？坐
坐
骑还是
骑应该念
坐骑哦？
坐骑吧，坐骑，
坐骑战，
坐骑战斗
mounted
都可以，都可以，都可以。
mounted 对我来说比较自然，跟读中文就卡卡的。OK， 所以坐骑的这个战斗呢，就是你可以坐在一个龙啊，坐在一个马啊，坐在一个上面 ，mounted。So when you mount on something, you're actually sitting on something. You're sitting on something. So mounted combat. All right. And a stealth system. 所以还有一个 stealth system. 那这个呢，大家就觉得反正如果第一眼你看不懂，那没有关系，反正就是一个什么系统这样子。那这个 stealth 呢，其实近年来这个字越来越少见了。为什么呢？是因为美国人很少开他的这个飞机了。这个字以前在大概90年代很常用，就是因为美国很喜欢开他们的隐形战机，就是 stealth fighter jet。stealth 呢，就是可以隐形的、隐匿的、藏匿的这种功能的东西，所以 in a stealth system. So introduces mounted combat, so you have to ride something, and a stealth system, and you have to hide. 所以你要一直躲躲闪闪。OK。The latter being a core gameplay element from Sekiro， 所以呢，这个后者呢，就是这个藏匿系统呢，就是从这个 Sekiro， 就是这个好像我记得中文名字叫之狼吧，是不是？也是一个大作，前几年的大作，然后是从那边移植过来的，就是要躲躲藏藏，然后还可以骑这个有一些坐骑的哈。These features are expected to encourage players， 所以是鼓励玩家怎么样？ In strategizing the combat approach， 所以要去思考他们在again combat， right？ 你看第几次 combat？
至少第1、2、4、5次
，4、5次了。所以这 combat 很重要，这个游戏就是要打嘛，叫打击攻击。所以 strategizing the combat approach， 所以要去用很策略的方式去思考他们要怎么样打击跟攻击。With each unique enemy， with 非常非常 unique 的这些敌人就非常非常特殊的敌人 ，they encounter 他们遇到的这些特殊敌人。对，然后每个敌人，如果有玩 Elden Ring 的朋友们就知道，那里面的那个路边的小怪动作都很奇怪。对，就是你看他是应该就是舌头会伸长的，他不止舌头会伸长，然后还会甩尾巴，还会什么，他还有很多动作，就是你会有时候吓到这个东西长相跟他的动作不太符合。他故意这样子的来挑战，让你随时都备战的状态，这样。OK， so that's Elden Ring。所以这个时候呢，刚刚就像各位如果在15分钟里面达不到说，我又去查字典啊，或者是我去看那个对照的时候呢，其实就是 you can come back and reread the article again or read the paragraphs again, and then go and help yourself identify all the special terms that you don't understand。 所以这时候呢，我们才会来看一些专有名词，然后再用中英对照的方式来去找，快速的去看说，原来我知道这篇文章大概在讲什么。我们也不是要每个字去懂，可是呢，只要辅助我们在念的过程中呢，是了解，能够去体会它到底这个作者呢要表达什么东西 ，right？ Okay， and that's Elden Ring。What do you think, Angel, after reading this paragraph?
I feel more confident.
Confident about what? Playing the game?
Yeah.
所以可以开机了。等一下结束直播，我们可以开机了，对不对？等一下就把摇杆抢过来，跟郭胖讲，摇杆给我玩。你不会，你不懂。
I know more than you do.
I know more now after reading Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Yeah, you get a better view of what the game is all about. 对吧？所以呢，这个 Wikipedia 可见就是我们的使用者手册，有没有？它会很完整的跟你解释这个东西。可多数玩家呢，就直接先玩了再说，对不对？使用者手册都不看。Yeah, they don't read the manual. All right. But anyways, it's a fantastic drill exercise that we did, and you guys can definitely copy the same approach. 就大家回家的时候呢，不管是哪一个 article， 不管是长段落、短段落，几行都没问题，就是照我们刚刚的方式来做演练就可以了。那再来呢，我们时间也不多，哇，今天时间真的是很飞快哈。And then the next article, we're going to be talking about Vladimir Zelensky. Vladimir Zelensky. Petty, 这下子就请 Petty 来跟我
Q 交棒。
对 Petty 刚刚 cue 我说，哎呀，John 老师，这个今天这个小测验啊什么的，感觉哇，今天很丰富哈，对不对？时间有点长，这样子，所以呢，我们就快的呢进行，就是一样啦。其实大家要知道的就是，我们如果今天只有5分钟的时候，也是可以做跟读的，10分钟也可以做跟读，1个小时也可以跟读，就是次数多或寡。OK， 好，所以呢，这边我们给大家讲一下，在 Room Chat 里面呢 ，Patty 这边有延伸测验。What kind of game is Elden Ring? A. ACT B. RPG C. SIM。大家各位等一下在 Room Chat 里面哦，就选 ABC 就好了。OK， 然后声明写 B。All right， so 我们等一下晚一点再来揭晓。好，那 Patty 这个时候呢，一样，这个时候我们等一下专有名词呢，名字就是那个名字地名，我们念不出来的，念得出来的都没关系。我们最主要是掌握说这一篇文章到底讲 Zelensky 什么东西，好不好 ？All right, so I'm gonna go first. Like many people from Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk region, he grew up as a native Russian speaker. But he also acquired fluency in both Ukrainian and English. In 1995, he entered Kryvyi Rih Economic Institute, the local campus of Kyiv National Economic University. And in 2000, he graduated with a law degree.
Like many people from Ukraine.
Skip. We
Okay.
go on. Yeah.
Region. He grew up as a native Russian speaker, but he also acquired fluency in both Ukrainian and English. In
Good.
1995, he entered
Skip.
institutes the local campus of National Economic University, and in 2000 he graduated with a law degree.
Very nice, Petty. So I'm going to read the first sentence, and then you can repeat after me.
Okay.
Like many people from Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk region, he grew up as a native Russian speaker, but he also acquired fluency in both Ukrainian and English.
Like many people from Ukraine
Region.
Okay.
You can skip the word. You can skip the word.
Yeah.
Region.
He grew up as a native Russian speaker, but he also acquired fluency in both Ukrainian and English.
Very nice. In 1995, he entered Kryvyi Rih Economic Institute, the local campus of Kyiv National Economic University. And in 2000, he graduated with a law degree.
In 1995, he entered Kyiv
Economic Institute.
Institute, the local campus of Kyiv National Economic University, and in 2000 he graduated with a law degree.
Very nice. Okay. So, Petty, you see, the first time we read Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk region, I had to Google that up. 这个是我去 Google 然后去念的，我练出来的。可是第一次呢，其实我们就 like many people from Ukraine's region, He grew up as a native Russian speaker， 就继续我们就跳过，反正就念下一个字就好了。然后呢，佩蒂有没有发现说，第一次念的时候就很没掌握度，然后第二次念的时候，其实就管说我们知不知道这个字什么意思，其实佩蒂就是会回想到说刚刚我怎么念，对不对？然后你就照着念就好了，对不对？
对。
所以呢，第一次你那个 Kiev 你跳过，你就讲说 National Economic University。第二次呢，你听到我讲 Kiev， 那你就知道哦，对哦，就是那个他们讲的基辅嘛，对不对？就是 Kiev， 那你就跟着念了。这样子，所以其实到这个 Kiev 这个 KYIV 呢，其实还有很多种拼字法，它有俄罗斯文，还有另外一种拼字法。所以这个 Kiev 就是我们听到这个关键字的时候，就是 Kiev 就是那个地方，我们会有那个联想，很容易。那你听一遍，第一遍可能没有这样子的联想，第二遍、第三遍一定会有。对，所以呢，其实有没有刚刚那几个字有没有真正把它念对，或者是那种我们不懂乌克兰语有没有把它念对，那不重要。对不对？我们把它念2遍熟了这个段落，这是我们跟读的最主要的用意哦。So let's continue. Although Zelensky was licensed to practice law, his career was already headed in a different direction. While still a student, he had become active in theater, and this would become his primary focus. In addition to working in television during this period, Zelensky appeared in a number of feature films, including the historical farce Something, Napoleon, 2012, and the romantic comedies 8 First Dates, 2012, and 8 New Dates, 2015. Pity?
Okay.
Although
Zelensky was licensed to practice
good.
law, his career was already head in a different
direction. Good.
While still a student, he had become active in theater, and this would become his primary focus.
Nice.
In addition to working in television during this period, Zelensky appeared in a number of feature films, including the historical farce
something
2012 and the romantic comedy A First Date 2012 and A New Date 2015.
Ooh, very nice, Petty. Well read. That was kind of difficult. I mean, Rezivskiv versus Napoleon. I don't even know how to pronounce that, man. It's okay. So let's try the paragraph sentence by sentence. Although Zelensky was licensed to practice law, his career was already headed in a different direction.
Although Zelensky was licensed to practice law, his career was already headed in a different direction.
Perfect. Very good. While still a student, he had become active in theater, and this would become his primary focus.
While still a student, he had become active in the theater, and this would become his primary focus.
Very nice. In addition to working in television during this period, Zelensky appeared in a number of feature films, including the historical farce Something versus Napoleon, 2012, and the romantic comedies 8 First Dates, 2012, and 8 New Dates, 2015.
In addition to working in television during this period, Zelensky appeared in a number of feature films, including the history focus Napoleon 2012 and the romantic comedy A First Date 2012 and A New Day 2015.
Very nice. Congratulations. Good job there, Petty. Yes, a round of applause for Petty and Angel tonight. Thank you very much. Yes, Petty 有没有发现说，其实第一次听的时候，或第一次要念的时候，一定就是哇，就是很卡，什么都很卡。那反正听不懂的，或者是不是很熟悉的就跳过，对不对？可是第二次的时候，你就对，这个字好像是那个。所以像刚刚讲到 direction 的时候 ，Petty 就会有这样子的去改错的能力，因为我们刚刚听到了嘛，所以马上可以纠正，对不对？所以 Angel 呢，就也是这样子的状况，就是第一次听我听姜老师讲那个叫 melee 还是叫 melee 妹，然后第一次可能就是 melee 可能念都念不好，可是这就是跟读的 magic， 就是说你第一次听，第二次听，你听顺了以后，其实你自然就讲出来了，试着讲就讲出来了。OK， 所以呢，我们有没有认真的去把所有的字都背一遍或比对一遍？其实不用，我们其实5分钟就是我念一次，你念一次，然后你念一次，我念一次，这样子，然后把它跟读完。如果要晋级一点呢，真的进入跟读的最进阶就是什么呢？就是一边播放 MP3， 一边跟着念，然后你看两个的 tempo 有没有一致。这是最高端的那一种，所以呢，口译师多数都在用这种 technique， 因为他一只耳朵要听一个语言，另外一个耳朵他要 output 或嘴巴要 output 另外一个语言，然后他另外一个耳朵要听自己到底讲出来的对不对，他要慢慢演练这样子的能力，那就跟我们一样。所以就不用去经过大脑翻译就可以直接讲出来，所以这个练习口条呢，练习口说是非常非常好的这个技能。那今天呢，我跟 Patty 这样子，还有跟 Angel， 其实就把这2个段落练习还蛮透彻的。第一个当然我们花了比较多时间去讲解对应，可是呢，第2篇呢不是我们不去对应，而是其实大家就可以用我们刚刚分享跟 Angel 分享的那一段一样，就是你念到哪一个字你觉得卡卡的，那你就去对应它。你去开来去看，然后呢，有重复过的字，就是努力的去把它弄熟、看熟。然后像刚刚讲的 Dnipropetrovsk region 这个字呢，这个 region 呢，我们可能这辈子看有没有机会去，对不对？所以这个，除非我去了，一定是会念很好。现在我还没有到那边，所以我一定念不好，我都不知道这个发音到底有没有完全正确。可是我查了一些字啦，所以有些很特殊的这些字呢，我觉得有趣的字，我会去把它练习起来。那如果对我们来说，其实没有特别需要到，或者是也不可能去的时候呢，我们就写 Ukraine's ABC region， 你就找一个字去填它就可以了。对，因为我们重点不是要去背这个字。对，而是说有 Ukraine 什么 region， 所以我们要我们的最终目标是要能够了解跟掌握整个段落的故事，而不是每一个字把它参透，这是我们的宗旨。OK，and that's what we do。所以呢，这个时候我们一样，今天到这个时间，其实我们还可以留一点点时间，好不好？我们刚刚 Patty 已经有跟大家分享了 What kind of game is Elden Ring？ 刚刚这个研读测验延伸测验哦。那第2个延伸测验是 What are the languages President Zelensky is fluent in? A. Mandarin, English, Ukrainian. B. Russian, English, Ukrainian. C. Russian, Ukrainian, Romanian. 是哪一个呢？各位写一下吧。所以我们下面呢，欢迎大家 Hao, Eric, Honte, Evan。Ashley、Sheming、小杨、Eating、Ella、Dali、CT、小贺营养师 ，Good to see you again. Lydia and Alyssa. So you guys please write if you're not ready to come up and take up the challenge with us, you are welcome to come and write down your answers. Oh, everybody's writing the answers. And of course, the next segment, 我们刚刚已经跟读了，相信大家呢，其实跟着我跟 Angel 还有我跟 Patty 呢，就这样已经跟读了几遍嘛，对不对？好，这时候呢，我们等一下就开放，我们来开放我们的通勤家族呢，来念一遍听看看。刚刚跟着我们一起跟读的这些朋友们呢，欢迎你来上台，就把手举起来，来，我们把你 Q 上来，你就来念一遍，我们来看看你的跟读成果好不好？ Right, so we got We got Evan. Yes, I see. Lots of hands. Yeah, fantastic stuff. Yes. Hello. Good evening, Evan. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, John.
Yeah, haven't seen you for a while, Evan. How's everything going on your side?
Everything going well.
Perfect. Great to hear that. Yes, I'm going to throw some invites around. So, thank you, Eating. How are you doing tonight? Hello, Eating. Can you
Hi,
hear me?
John.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes. Did you follow along with Angel and Petty?
Yes, I joined a little bit late,
Oh,
but I
really? Okay.
listened.
So,
I listened Angel's
okay.
second round.
No, perfect. Not a problem. Right. So, Evan and Eating, you guys can go ahead. Why don't you take your pick? You are welcome to choose either one of the articles to quickly read for us. And we just want to see how good was your shadowing when you did it by yourself. Right. Go ahead. So, let's have Evan or Eating want to go first. Who wants to go first? Eating? Would you like to go
Okay.
first?
Okay. Okay, I go first.
Go.
And I choose
Elden Ring or Zelensky?
Elden Ring.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to give you a round of applause there. Wow, good job there. Take up the challenge, huh? You're really serious. Nice. Go ahead.
Okay. Elden Ring is an action role-playing game played in a third-person perspective with gameplay focusing on combat and exploration.
Nice.
Director Hidetaka Miyazaki explained that players start with a linear opening, but eventually progress to freely explore the lands between, including in its 6 main area, as well as castle, fortress, and catacombs scattered throughout the open world map.
Nice.
Relies heavily on character building element found in previous Souls games and relate intellectual properties such as calculate and close-range melee-based combat with the use of skills, magic abilities, as well as blocking and dodging mechanic.
Nice.
Elden Ring introduced mountain combat and a stealth system, the latter being a core gameplay element from Sekiro. These features are expected to encourage players in strategize their combat approach with each unique enemy they encounter.
Very nice. Good job there, Eating. Yes. So this would be the third or the fourth time you are reading this paragraph, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Because you handled it very well and you corrected yourself. 像刚刚那个 Sekiro，其实那个字到底谁是什么意思？Who cares, right? But you corrected yourself, very nice. And strategizing, combat, melee. These are the words, 6 main areas. These are the words I paid special attention to while I was explaining, and you also paid special attention to them. Fantastic stuff, Eating. Good job. 所以呢， 跟读其实就是有这个魔法。比如说听了别人念一两遍，然后你自己念的一两遍，其实慢慢的这个掌握度就很高。然后呢，依婷刚刚这边呢 ，six main areas as well as castles, fortresses, and catacombs， 所以这三个都有 s。
Oh.
There you go. So you got a little bit lazy there, but it's fine because this being your second or your third try. And as you go on, you would sort of know where you are more likely to make a mistake or oral mistake， 就是可能我们在口误的时候会是什么？很多时候呢，我们就会有 lazy tongue， 那个 s 就不念，或者是那个 ed 不念，等等的。So those are some of the issues when we practice our oral skills. And over time,
Actually,
yes?
I'm read this time is the first time read. I
Wow.
just listened 2 times and read with my eyes. Third
Really?
times.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. So you see, it works, it helps for you to listen to it a few times and then go read it. And then now you're putting the two together, putting your reading and your listening together. That's
Yes.
super, super important. So as you practice your next round of practice, you will know, okay, I actually made a mistake with the S's. So let me focus on the S's. And there are certain terms that it's difficult for me to read. So this time I'm going to focus on them. So every time as you practice, you are going to improve on a bit that you know needs improvement. You will identify those elements yourself. 所以跟读了以后呢，因为你听过原来的是怎么样，所以你就有办法去想办法把你自己念的呢去反映成你听到的那样子。And then in the future, you will see, you will use some of these words. It'll become muscle memory for you. 就嘴巴习惯了以后呢，它也是一种 muscle memory. 就是什么 third person perspective. If you read it enough times, it'll become third person perspective. You will read it together all the time. You won't read third person perspective. You will not break it up. Yeah. All right. Good job there, Yiting. Fantastic stuff. Perfect example of how shadowing can help you every day.
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yiting. Good job. Moving on to Evan. Yes, Evan. Which article would you like to read for us?
Okay, I choose second one, Zelensky.
Zelensky, go ahead.
Okay, like many people from Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk region, he grew up as a native Russian speaker, but he also acquired fluency in both Ukrainian and English. In 1995, he entered Kyiv Economic Institute, the local campus of Kyiv National Economic University, and in 2000, he graduated with a law degree.
Nice.
Although Zelensky was licensed to practice law, his career was already headed in different direction. While still a student, he had become active in theater, and this would become his primary focus. In addition to working in television during this period, Zelensky appeared in a number of feature films, including the historical force Something, Napoleon, 2012,
Nice.
and the romantic comedies A First Days, 2012,
Nice.
and A New Days, 2015.
Good job there, Evan.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was well read. How this would be your second or your third time reading this?
Of course, I practiced.
Okay, fantastic.
Before.
So you were following me and Petty, right? Earlier on.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Perfect. That you can actually hear it. You were very, very sure of some of the difficult words there. For example, like fluency, right? You actually stressed fluency. So he also acquired fluency in both Ukrainian and English, and you stressed fluency. I heard that, and then also the two words here. The many the two words that repeated was Economic Institute, National Economic University. So Economic Institute and National Economic University, two economics, right? Economic.
Economic.
Economic. That would be the word that you actually stressed and you paid special attention to. And then, of course, the 2012 situation at the end, and then the feature films. I also heard that because most of the time we wouldn't be using this term, feature film. Okay, feature film. We would just use the word film or movie. Okay, so feature film, that means he was featured in the film. That means he was the main character in the films. Okay, so Zelensky appeared in a number of feature films. Right, great stuff there. Good job, Evan. Fantastic stuff. You know your stuff very well. Good practice there. Moving
Thank
on.
you.
Yes, CT. How are you doing tonight? Good
Hello?
to have you.
Hello,
Yes.
John.
How you doing?
John, I'm CD.
Yeah. How
I'm
you
fine.
doing? Great. So which article would you like to read quickly for us?
I want to choose Elden Ring.
Oh, Elden Ring. Okay, everybody loves Elden Ring. Fantastic stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah. I didn't prepare before, really.
Did you
It's the
follow
first time.
me and Petty or me and Angel earlier on?
No.
No, you didn't?
I didn't
You joined
hear.
us very late? Okay.
Yeah,
Well, go
yeah.
ahead. Well, give it a try. No worries.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
shadowing
I try.
challenge. Yeah,
I try.
go ahead.
Elden Ring is an action role-playing game played in a third-person perspective with gameplay focusing on combat and exploration. Director Hidetaka Miyazaki explained the player start with a linear opening, but eventually progress to freely explore the lands between, including its 6 main areas, as well as castle, fortresses, and catacomb scattered throughout the open world map. Combat in Elden Ring relies heavily on character building elements found in previous Souls games and related in intellectual properties such as calculated and close range, melee-based combat with the use of skills, magic abilities, as well as blocking and dodging mechanics.
Nice.
Elden Ring introduces mounted combat and a stealth system, the latter being a core gameplay element from Sekiro. These features are expected to encourage players in strategizing their combat approach with each unique enemy they encounter.
Good job there,
Thank
CT.
you, everyone.
Good read. That was a good read. Pretty nice. Good for the first time. Because we explained, if you followed us earlier, I think your reading now would be much, much better if you followed me and Angel earlier. Because we shadowed the sentences by sentences, and we also shadowed the paragraphs. So we read some of the difficult terms a couple of times. So you read that very well. And then when you talked about close ranged melee based combat, that word is, for many people it's melee, but actually it's not English. So it's pronounced melee. Melee meaning hand to hand combat, close range combat.
Hand to hand combat.
Yeah. So like you punching, kicking. That's melee. Yeah, not with bullets, not with guns, not with any throw weapons. Right. So I hope you had a great one. I don't know if you guys played Elden Ring, but if you do enjoy the game, and you're welcome to come back to the article and just to check some of the terms that you are now playing in. And coming back to the little quiz that we had, 我们延伸的测验呢，之前是第一个 question 是 What kind of game is Elden Ring? A. ACT, B. RPG, and C. Sim. So yes, everybody got it correct, but only Shemming and Eating answered. So I guess everyone else was a little hesitant. 大家是不是就在怀疑说，这到底在干什么呢？所以呢，我们 Elden Ring 的第一个 sentence 有没有看到 ？Elden Ring is an action role-playing game. 所以 role-playing game 就是 RPG。对。所以那个 G 就是 game，然后 role playing RPG，所以大家在讲 RPG，对不对？就是那个 OK。
Final Fantasy。
Yeah. Like Final Fantasy, like a lot of the famous games are RPG games, role playing. So you play a character that has a role. 他可能是王子 right? 他可能是一个 prince, 他可能是一个 princess, whatever he or she is. So you're playing a role. You're not playing you. All right. So that's a role playing game. Yeah. Now, second quiz. What are the languages President Zelensky is fluent in? 我们来看看哦，在这边 President Zelensky, so he grew up as a native Russian speaker, but he also acquired fluency in what? In both Ukrainian and English. 所以呢 he grew up a native Russian speaker. 所以他是一个 Russian 的俄罗斯文的母语使用者。然后呢，他也有 fluency, OK? 他也是能够用 Ukrainian 乌克兰语 and English. 所以是 Russian, Ukrainian, and English. Those are the languages that he is fluent in. OK, 所以 B 是正确的。所以 Angel, Eating, 小杨, Ashley, Shaming, and Hunter, everybody says B, so everybody's following. Great stuff. Good job. And Evan asks, what is a sim game? S-I-M. Well, Evan, we shouldn't let you explore too much of the gaming business. All right. Sim 呢 Petty, sim 应该中文怎么讲？ S-I-M
Simulation.
Simulation. 所以 simulation 呢就可能是这个开车啦，开飞机啦，对，这些都是 simulation， 就是模拟那件事情。对 simulation. 对
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Evan, you've probably played a lot of simulation games before in your life. 那最近 simulation 的话，当然啦，要看是什么样的一个状态。不过 generally 以前的 simulation 会是那种什么虚拟人生啊，就是它或者是那个叫什么Sim City， 那叫什么城市啊？中文叫什么 ？I played them。
模拟市民吗？
模拟市民啊，模拟城市啊，那个 Sid Meier 发明的。那个制作人他很会做这个，就是 sim games， 他就是发明这个 category 的 Sid Meier。然后，所以他发明这个模拟城市啊，模拟这些，就是你去当市长这样，然后他就是 simulate。那到后面呢，当然，比如说像现在有就是很多 simulators， 就是开飞机的、开车子的，那也是一种 sim， 那也是一种 simulation。对，所以很多机师啊，在家里面就会买一台 PS5， 然后买那个 game， 然后真的啊，就是可以像赛车，现在那个赛车的那个套组啊，其实都很拟真，就跟真的车子一样。那买在家里面架在书桌上面就可以玩，就可以练习开车或练习开飞机。Flight simulators, driving simulators, people learn through games. So games are good, people. Yes, right. And that is the shadowing challenge for tonight. 今天晚上的跟读挑战，大家圆满成功啦！谢谢 ，Good job, you guys. Fantastic stuff. Good job. And then also for the quizzes, 大家2个小测验呢，对。Yes, you weren't asleep， 所以大家都没有睡着哦。看到 Elden Ring 什么东西呀、对不对？那个 Elton John 还听过 Elden Ring， 对不对？就算了。好，所以呢，这有些时事呢，真的是跟我们的舒适圈所知道的一些资讯不一样。So that's where it's interesting to sit down and chat to you guys a little bit about, what's what in the world. 就这世界有很多很多有趣的事情，然后谢谢大家今天晚上的参与。那如果今天晚上呢，我们通勤家族没有机会上台来练习这个跟读挑战，或者不方便的，其实也没有关系。那你在家里面呢，就照我们今天的 step 一样，就跟我、跟 Angel、跟 Patty 一起在做 shadowing 就可以了。然后或者下个礼拜呢，也可以从我们的这个 podcast， 我会稍微做修剪。那今天的 session 呢，就变成我们的 podcast， 你也可以那个时候再来跟着我们一起念。那今天晚上我们就分享到这边。Thank you very much, guys. That's a wrap for tonight, and good job on your shadowing challenge. And we will catch you the same time next week at Clubhouse at the 15 Minutes 通勤学英语直播室. Thank you very much for joining us. Cheers, you guys. That's it from me, myself, and Petty. Yes, Petty over there.
Yep.
Petty, you still there?
Yeah.
Great stuff. And then that's it from us and Angel. Right.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for coming, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
谢谢大家。
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Evan.
John.
Thanks,
Enjoy
Vicky.
Katie.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Vicky.
evening.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Good
Bye
night.
bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Yes. Yes. Good night, you guys. Have a great evening. Bye.